Hey everyone, welcome to this dark and damp place where even the cell signal is crying. To send a message, you have to sit on the toilet like a true internet warrior, occasionally stealing the— Every time they spray disinfectant on the street, it's like an apocalypse for their family. But on this day, fate's gears started turning unexpectedly, as Jai-Yu's friend paid him a surprise visit. He said he was heading abroad for study but couldn't stop worrying about the girl struggling with history. So, he asked Jai-Yu to impersonate a tutor and lend a helping hand to talk about it dramatic. Of course, he wanted Jai-Yu to keep an eye on the boys chasing her, ensuring no one's neck is precious. Jai-Yu was puzzled and thought, being a flower vase isn't as easy as it sounds. But for his buddy, he decided to man up and agree. Subtitles. When confronted with such a life challenge, he didn't possess strong self-confidence. However, after receiving some passionate and fiery encouragement from his friend, the hesitation in his heart vanished in an instant. So he gleefully decided to play this little act. To prepare, he even had his sister whip up a fake college diploma. The forgery was so convincing that even this old man, a veteran in the game, couldn't see through it. But when Jai-Yu waltzed in with this ornate diploma, walking into the mansion, he found the wealthy mom didn't care. She wanted to know if he could teach her daughter well. So, she quickly asked to observe a class to see if Jai-Yu was a true teacher. Despite the fake diploma, 4 years of college entrance exams had hardened him, so he wouldn't be intimidated by this. As he saw the girl hesitating over a math question, he had a light bulb moment. Subtitles. He hastily seized the girl's wrist and administered some divine-level education to her. This not only earned him the girl's admiration, but left the wealthy mother impressed too. She immediately paid him a month's tuition and said she'd hire him until finals. A pact was born, and the butler enthusiastically offered them fruit. However, just when the wealthy mom was introducing them, a rogue animal suddenly swooped in. It turned out the wealthy family also had a 6-year-old son who, unbeknownst to them, was about to ruin this perfect setup. This little tyrant was a handful at home. Although he had talent in art, his mischievous antics often left his teachers stamping their feet in frustration. The wealthy mom was at her wit's end trying to find a tutor for him, completely unaware that the new teacher was a total undercover. Jai-Yu heard this, and his wheels started turning. This was his chance for some entertainment. He quickly spun a tale of a returning overseas student, claiming this teacher not only had a fine arts degree but also specialized in using art for psychological guidance. The wealthy mom was all ears and couldn't wait for Jai-Yu to set this up. The very next morning, Jai-Yu brought along his sister, whose artistic talent had been shelved due to their financial circumstances. Soon afterwards, Jai-Yu introduced the two to get to know each other, but the wealthy mom still insisted on sitting in on a lesson. But Ting flatly refused, saying having a parent around would be a distraction for teaching. In the end, the wealthy mom was left pacing outside anxiously, while the lady butler cheerfully offered her some advice. She suggested feigning a visit to drop off some juice, while also sneakily observing the little lord's performance. But when she stormed to the door, the sight before her left her. Usually a little troublemaker, here he was, obediently accepting his teacher's lessons. He truly seemed to respect her, sparking her curiosity about the new teacher's charm to make the child obey. But before she could ask, Ting mysteriously replied, "Is it possible this child has experienced something shocking?" Those words struck the wealthy mom like lightning. Yes, there was that one time Head sneaked out for cake at midnight and passed out, then claimed to have seen a ghost at home. But this was something they'd never shared with anyone. Little did they know Ting had pieced it together through art. This revelation made her see the new teacher in a whole new light, even leading her to propose a salary above the norm. Ting gladly accepted, and just then, the head of the household, the wealthy dad, came home and upon hearing how the new teacher was helping his adorable son, expressed his deep gratitude. He even had the driver take her home, so she wouldn't think of herself as a tutor living in the basement. Little did she know, the driver was a chatterbox, boasting about his high salary and how he could easily afford a fancy car. Ting felt stressed. Why would anyone do that? Thus, the next events unfolded dramatically. Suddenly, their family was in line for 3 high-paying jobs, transforming their lives from barely scraping by to dining out every day. While celebrating, Mom Changshi was jobless, preventing a grand mansion entrance. So, they set their sights on the most seasoned butler, scheming to topple this old bean sprout. This butler had been with the mansion since it was built, knowing every nook and cranny like the back of his hand. Taking him down would be no easy feat, but that was hardly a reason for the family to back down. One day, while Jai-yu was tutoring the girl, he discovered she had a crush on him. Faced with this sudden love attack, he was momentarily flustered. After forming a special bond with her, he learned that the butler was allergic to peaches, leaving him nearly peachless. With that explosive intel in hand, they set off to gather all the peach fizz they could find and cunningly sprinkled it on Milady Butler. She broke out in uncontrollable coughs, and old Jim pretended to capture the moment on camera. He showed it to the wealthy mom, claiming he'd just had a routine checkup at the hospital and happened to run into the butler getting treatment for tuberculosis. He warned her to remember to disinfect. To reinforce her belief, he even had jarred Ting sprinkle more peach fuzz on the butler during class. When the wealthy mom got home, she found the butler coughing violently. Old Jin quickly swooped in, turning his back to her as he carelessly poured ketchup everywhere. Seeing the splash of red, her heart raced. She didn't bother checking the facts and warned Old Jin not to mention it to her husband. If he found out she had put their kids in such a dangerous situation, she'd be on her way to being an ex-wife in no time flat. Thus, with the trio's seamless teamwork, the butler lost his decade-long job. But such a large mansion needs management. So, Old Jin handed the wealthy dad a business card, proudly claiming it was a premium service for the rich and fat. Subtitles. If you really enjoyed our story, make sure not to forget to like and subscribe.